What do you think about the benches? So I've been working on this table today. Check it out. This is going to be for the benches, one bench on each side. I don't know if you watched my do-it-yourself table, farmhouse table video, but check that out. So I'm hoping maybe, that's a big maybe, but maybe I'll have them finished tomorrow. Maybe. You know how that goes. I'm going to say absolutely no way I'll be able to get them finished tomorrow. Being realistic with myself, I think it's going to be a couple days. See, I'm trying to work on things out here. Hi guys, I'm getting ready to get back on this table. Took a nice shower, cleaned myself up really good, and then I put on a coat of bug spray. That is country life. So about ready to get started on the top of this bench. The basic idea here is, if you remember, I glued these together and I screwed them. I'm going to space these out about 9 inches, and I'm going to mark it. I'm going to pick which side I want to be the top, and then I'm just going to put some screws in there. So continuing on these benches, this is what we've got. We're doing it in the same fashion as the table legs. If you watch that video, if you don't, basically what we're going to do is we're going to take a notch out of this. They call it a dado, and we're going to use it with this. I think it's easier than doing it with that. So we're going to notch this out. They're on the plans, this is a really bad thing. They don't give a dimension here. So I just picked something that matched the picture pretty well, kind of arbitrary. I picked 3 inches. So we've got 3 inches from here to here, and then this is the width of a 2x4, so 3.5 by 1.5. So I knocked that out, and you can see it's not super perfect here, but what I do is I check to see, you know, if it works. And wait, okay, it works. I just had to check. Oh, that dog. So when I do complicated woodworking projects, I try to, and I'm doing things that I have to replicate, I try to look at them as close to what I'm doing. So what I've done is I've made this complete, and I know it's right. So what I'm doing is replicating it over here. So the first way that I figured out to make this flush and level with the bottom, this is how I'm just choosing to do it. So basically I set this up. So the next thing that I need to do is the notch. So the notch really occurs like this. So 3 inches. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I've measured my 3 inches. I measure my 3.5 inches up, so I mark it off, and then this is what I'm going to cut. So if you want to use a jig and you want to draw down here to make sure, double check that you're doing things right, I recommend it for the first set until you match them. But once you get your saw locked down, you just need the starting and the end point. So you're just going to make a bunch of cuts. That's what you have. I could go finer, but it's not a big deal. Just push this down in here and knock these guys back. So that's what you're left with. And then just this up with this approximate angle. So then I'll match up with my 2x. Make sure it's good. When it's good, I will head down there like that. Then I'll move on to this guy. Okay, now the complicated part. Those plans that I gave you got real sketchy on these things, so make sure you follow this. 6-inch pieces to go in between the benches. That's what the legs look like. I'm gonna put these in with 2-inch screws, and then we are going to put the 2x4 in between these sections here, and then we're going to be ready to do the tops of the benches. So many little steps. Listening to my Eric Church. All in all, this is a pretty fun project. It just takes a lot longer. I'm sure it's gonna be funny when I try to piece this video together, because I'm wearing so many different shirts. A lot of times my shorts may look the same because I'm wearing them again and again. Or I just have, I don't know if you've noticed yet, but I have something like some unreal amount of tan shorts. I'm gonna say 5 pair of the same khaki color tan. I don't know what's wrong with me. These things fit together pretty well. Some advice that I would give you is don't take a whole lot of time making a zillion million cuts on that dado thing when you're cutting out the chunk for this, because it's easy enough to break apart anyway. So fortunately I've got some sanding to do. Sanding, it's crazy. So I've got all this stuff basically ready to go. I just need to sand it up and figure out if I want to do wood filler. I am going to do wood filler in the legs. The plans don't call for it, but I don't know. I think it seems like it would look funny if I didn't. Look at me trying to change my mind right in the middle of this video. Well, it'll be a mystery until the end to see what I do. But anyway, that's what I'm working on. I hear some people. Holiday weekend on the lake. Bzzz. Oh well. Any day can be a lake day for me, not just a Saturday on a holiday weekend. Okay. I got them all together. And what I'm going to tell you is that the plans that I've given you, they're not that good. There were a lot of things that were not mentioned. They're now going to need to be 4 2x4s on this, and a bead board at the end, like the table. So I'm going to put that together with the pocket screw thing that I did the top of the table with, but it doesn't really tell you how to do it. And the measurements, to let you know, the measurements that they gave in this were incorrect. I followed it to the rule, and this was supposed to be a 1/2 inch out, and you can see that this is actually a little bit, maybe a 1/4 inch on the outside. Boards, whatever length you want, but I'm going to do 4 2x4s, 64 inches, and then the bead board is going to go on the end like this. I think I'm just going to go ahead and build the whole thing kind of like I did the table and put it on there. Getting ready to put these 4 together. Now I did 64 inches on these guys, and I noticed that these joints fit together real nice. So rather than do 4 64 inches, I'm going to use some of the tailings from the cuts of this other stuff. What's really interesting is that 2 of the waist of one of these 8-footers is perfect measurement for that, and it fits together nice. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on one of the boards. So I'm going to do the pocket screw things now. I'm going to space them about every night. I can't remember if I've shown you this Craig drilling system yet, but that's what it looks like. This, you just seed in whatever your desired inch is, and you've got 3 selectors up here: 1/2, 3/4, and 1 1/2. Okay, there's a hack. Take you some clamps and brace it off and do 1 row of screws at once. On this one you can see that just naturally, since it's normal grade lumber, it sticks up a little bit, so I'm just going to step on it as I screw down. And I learned from the table that will hold it down nice and flat, and I don't have to move a lot of things around. Okay, I encourage you to carefully measure your own stuff, but mine here was 14 1/8. So one thing I do notice on these tables, and I think it happens more over time, is that when I set this thing up, man, I sanded this just perfect. And I don't know if you can see that, but the table over here shrinks this way. And the reason these beadboard tables don't look perfect forever is that the grains of this and the grains of that are pulling away different ways and contracting different ways. That's what I learned on YouTube. But anyway, like I say, just measure real close, and then I'm gonna do screws going in here. So I think I'm only gonna do 3. Throw some. I think this thing is overdone. These things are gonna be super solid. The one thing that I kind of like about this, I noticed that as I was screwing it all together, it kind of had this slightly concave feel up on the top of it. I didn't like it when I was looking at it because it didn't look perfect, but when I went and sat on it, it was a lot more comfortable. So maybe that's just the way it's supposed to work out. This is what I put on this because I haven't sanded it yet, but I wasn't that happy with how tight it came together. So I'm gonna put that underneath. You won't be able to see. Uh-oh. Well, that was good that you saw that. I was kind of wondering how far these things went through. So when you use this pocket hole system, it drills through here and it leaves a little bit. I don't like pushing all the way through because I feel like I have less to anchor into. So I guess I'm gonna keep that in mind this next time. That's what it came like. There's one. I think it's plenty big. So I get them all put together and sanded. Breaking that thing up didn't turn out very bad at all. That looks nice. So I'm gonna let this dry overnight, and I'm getting ready to prep these for painting. I'm really pleased at how this is turning out. It's turning out really beautiful. So this is without any wood filler at all. Remember how I was going back and forth? I kind of wish, I mean, I don't know, live and learn, right? So this is my table with wood filler, so there's no cracks at all. It's kind of neat, maybe even having two different kinds, but that's what I'm going to work on. So white paint on this stuff. Well, they are done. Second coat of paint on the white is done, and I just need a couple coats of polyurethane. That's what I did on this, and that's the finish I got. Since they're in rain spray, I like to have them be all sealed up. So I'm gonna paint that on and do a couple coats. It typically takes a full day to dry. I'm scratching my, oh great, look at my nose. I can only see my reflection over there. Well, you know I've been painting. Okay, so this is the polyurethane that I used, and this is the wood stain that I used. Both I got at Home Depot. This was the perfect amount. I didn't have enough brushes, and I don't know, I wish I would have had some more brushes, but I did the last one with like the tiniest, like 1-inch paintbrush. So that took a long time, but trying to think what other tips. Buy the big thing of glue. I went through the small thing of glue, and then I got that, and I'm about a third way through it. That's if you're gonna do the benches and the table and everything together. What else? Oh, the Craig screws. So the plans call for 2.5 and 2. I would get, you'd be surprised how many screws you put in. So I'm trying to think how many. I think I probably went through about more than 50 2.5s, more than 50 2s, plenty of 3s. Just make sure you get plenty of those. The Craig system thing comes in really handy, and I'll be utilizing that again on future projects. Trying to think what other tips I've got for you. I don't know. I guess just enjoy your project, have a good time. I know I sure did. This is, I can't wait to use it. Have a good day, and we'll be down there soon.